Hi guys, welcome to my channel. You know, I wasn't gonna get on here today, but I think it's important after the day that I had. My name is Iobo. I'm a nurse practitioner, and today felt so draining. If you are a nurse practitioner, doctor, PA, clinician, this is for you. Growing up, I think it's every nurse's story. You always love helping people. You don't mind helping people. You see it as a thing where you do it so freely, so easily. So becoming a nurse sometimes isn't a second thought. You just go ahead and do it. But you quickly find out that once you start working at the bedside, you're not only a slave to the workload, but you're a slave to bedside, to the patients, to everything that you have going on. Sometimes it can be so draining taking care of patients some days because you feel as if you want to do the best that you can. But on the verge of doing that, you become so burnt out. I've worked bedside. I've been a clinician for the last 5 years. I've worked bedside, and I still work bedside for the last 8, 9 years. And the story doesn't change. Maybe a different hospital, different name on the doors when you enter, different name on your badge, but it's still the same. Management issues, you're overstaffed, patients talking to you crazy, and you just begin to feel overwhelmed. And if you're feeling overwhelmed as a clinician, even as a nurse, this video is for you. I grew up being the helper of my family, and it's not hard to help people. I'm just there. You need me, you got me. And I found it very easy to transition as a nurse when I decided to go to school to become a nurse. It was just like, okay, we went through the trenches to get to this degree, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be something. And you get there, and it's the same nonsense. In the beginning, it was okay because you're learning the ropes. You're thinking, okay, eventually these things will plateau out. Eventually, everything's going to settle out. Everything's going to be okay. But I think even COVID expedited everything. I shouldn't even say the C word. The C word expedited everything, where you just feel like there is no end to it. And I had a patient today that, you get those load of patients that you just say, okay, God, I'm just going to pray through this today because I'm not the one nor the two, but I'm going to do my best to give them the best care that I can. And, how do I even say this? I've come to realize that the people who care the most at the bedside as a clinician, they're the ones that get burnt out the fastest. We're the ones that feel like we can change the system, and the harder we work, the better it'll become. And there's a little bit of truth to that, but I just want to let you know that you're on the right path. And just because someone doesn't acknowledge you, a patient curses you out, you're overwhelmed with paperwork and charting, that doesn't mean that you're not in the right calling. Constantly today, even after my shift, before I work in the clinic tomorrow, I keep being reminded that we're needed. We are needed. I will continue to say that again. We are needed. The people who care, we are needed. Yes, we do have our counterparts, the people we work with that just want to make the paycheck. And, I do as well. But at the first and foremost, I care about taking care of patients and making sure they're actually taking care of their health. That's one of the reasons why, we're nurses, or we're in the medical field as doctors, as nurse practitioners. I want to make sure that every time you follow up with me, you're doing better than before. You're not doing worse. That's the goal. And I just want to let you know that you are valued and you are understood. You know, a patient may be getting mad at you, but you know when you're at the bedside and you get that one sweet old lady that holds your hand, even if it's in the clinic, even if I'm doing home health as a provider, that holds your hand and looks at you. No, not just looks at you. She looks at you and tells you, you have just been such a godsend. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. Even the ones that offer you water at the end of the day before you leave, like, you know that you did something. They gave you something, but just hold on to the fact that you're not wasting your time. You're needed. You're seen as someone as valuable. Even if no one sees you as valuable, even if during Nurses Week someone hands you some stale pizza, okay, maybe a t-shirt or a jacket. I like a t-shirt or a jacket over, pizza. I can wear that around. But regardless if you get any of that, know that you are needed. Know that you as your race is needed. Know as you being a male or female is needed. Know that representation matters. It matters. I walk in, you see a patient that looks like, I see a patient that looks like me, and they feel calmer. You can talk to them in a way that they understand. You can talk to them about a DASH diet, but then also talk to them about their blood pressure because they shouldn't be eating certain things, and sometimes care needs to be cultivated in order to take care of the patient itself and not just the standards, if you get what I mean. It's a full wide variety of things, but we want to take care of the patient as a whole, and they see you, I see you, and you're not wasting your time. So guys, follow me on my journey for this channel. We're going to talk about a lot of things, but one of my main focuses is making sure that we're documenting accurately. I have seen way too many people in the last week go to jail because of misrepresentation, coding and charting incorrectly, and thinking you can get away with that's a whole nother story. We work so hard for our degrees, so where is the disconnect? Where do we find the gusto to go ahead and say, you know what, they're not going to catch me? Yes, they are going to catch you. I'm just going to let you know. I have solved the problem. They are going to catch you. Even if you're thinking about it, don't even do it. If you see this page before you go and think about doing something, just go ahead and stop. I'm letting you know now. They do not care. They will throw you in jail. But that's besides the point. Follow me for tips about charting, any motivation that you feel like you need as a provider, and know that you are not alone. All right. Thank you for watching. And remember, caring is your superpower, not your weakness. Subscribe for more. Have a great day, guys.